All right, friends, do not adjust your screen. That is not Kevin.
No, it is not.
It's not.
It's not.
We have a guest today. He is wearing a
Son.
Darkseid shirt, which you can probably tell this is going to be our review of Zack Snyder's Justice League. Everybody, welcome back to another episode of The Real Heroes Show. You've got Cory and Nick here as usual. Kevin is off on vacation this week, but because of the very special occasion of the Snyder Cut finally being released after, 4 years of people campaigning for it, we have a super fan here to chat with us about the show today. It's our friend Austin Carlisle, amateur filmmaker and just all around swell guy. So Austin, welcome to the show, man. How are you?
Yeah, I am doing good. Huge fan of the show, first of all. Watching all the videos, and definitely have been talking about this with Nick at least for like how long? Months?
It's
months,
been
maybe.
Yeah. Leading up to this, it's like he'd send me videos daily that would be released, but on and off talking about it for like the last 4 to 5 years, like legit. So,
wow. Yeah, well, I think how many Darkseid shirts have you purchased? I mean, I know you're wearing one today, but you have 3? Did you buy 3 Snyder Cut shirts?
So I have 3 Snyder Cut shirts. I have 2 Darkseid ones, and then I have one that just says Snyder Cut. And Darkseid is shooting Omega beams.
But Darkseid's on all 3 of them.
Of course.
You know, understandable. I mean, you know. He is inevitable. Oh wait, that's Thanos. Oh, dang! Sorry, I'm getting the comics mixed up already.
Man. Well, before we hop into things, obviously this video is going to have lots and lots of spoilers about Zack Snyder's Justice League. So if you haven't seen the movie yet, head over to HBO Max. Make sure to check it out. It's a long one. It's like 4 hours and 2 minutes. So have your colostomy bag ready if you need to go to the bathroom without getting up. But yes, lots of spoilers today. We're gonna go over just some of the things that we really liked, some of the things that we didn't like, maybe some of the stuff that we noticed immediately that was very different from the Joss Whedon theatrical cut that came out back in 2017, and then all the way at the end we're gonna give our reviews a rating out of 10 for this film. So Austin, I know you've been chomping at the bit to just wax poetically about everything Zack Snyder. So I'm gonna let you go first, and I'm gonna ask you, what did you really dig about this film?
So aside from the obvious of Darkseid and a completely improved Steppenwolf, is a Cyborg story.
Okay.
Because so much of it was just cut, so I would definitely say the Cyborg story, which really is just most of his backstory, with his father and mother and stuff like that.
Yeah.
So that was easily, one of my favorites. But also, I've got to admit, the epilogue, the last chapter, it was definitely, I wouldn't say fan service, but it was like, okay, this is what we've seen from since 2015, with BVS.
Yeah. The lead up.
And you see an expanded one, which was awesome. And then I've got to be honest, Wonder Woman, she was,
that was, she was a overall badass. And I mean, honestly, I think her storyline, her arc, her performance, I hate to say it, but she was better in the or not Gal Gadot, because she's great, and regardless, she's just amazing. But the story of Diana Princess, sorry, Diana Prince, is just she says princess in that one scene, was better than 1984.
Oh, 100 times over.
Like, or Wonder Woman 84, sorry, but like it, you know, and it was so much apparent. Like you have this, you know, Wonder Woman character that is a ramp up of her original movie, you know, Batman vs Superman cameo, you know, and I mean, you know, she was, you know, her character was okay in the theatrical cut, but I mean, man, just the things that were cut for her too, just it's like, dude, like, Joss, why?
Yeah. Like when Steppenwolf first arrives,
dude, the amount of shit talking he does to Diana, like, it's like, yo, you're and you could tell that, like, one of the scenes, like, she just gets like tilted and just charges in. Like, she's like, yo, all right, you're talking about my ladies like that, like,
like,
it's such a drag after seeing 84 and then going into this, and it's like, why did they waste 2 hours with her on resurrecting Steve Trevor's body and not really doing anything for 2 hours? It's just that's a little bit of, but you know, we are talking about Snyder Cut. She was awesome in this. Her action scenes were just like stupid cool. Everything she did was
dude wonderful. Like her hand movements blocking the bullets, I'm like, oh, dude.
Yep. And you know, at the end when she gets the coup de grace on Steppenwolf, and
come on, dude,
holy shit.
hey, she went for the head.
She absolutely went for the head. Thor could learn a thing or two.
Learn.
From Diana there. So yeah, man, that's awesome. Anything else, Austin, that really stuck out to you other than those three? I'll let you go long since you're our guest here. I'll tell Nick to shut up.
So the only other thing that just really pretty much, you know, got my attention in every scene was Steppenwolf's armor. It was it was like breathing, you know, and
very cool. And
then when you know, he's talking to that, I guess, you know, hologram of Darkseid disappears.
The stone slab, whatever.
Rockogram.
Yeah, Rockogram. And Darkseid just appears. The armor just instantly like retracts in fear, and I'm like, that was just one thing that just like really was like, that's amazing.
Yeah, it was really cool to see all that stuff, because I said this on the preview last week. I haven't seen the Whedon version since I think early 2018, so I don't really remember much of it, but it was very cool to see all the Darkseid, Steppenwolf, Darkseid stuff. There's so much of it, and it actually felt like it made sense within the story and not just like something that was yanked out for no reason. So I have to ask, is there anything that you didn't like about the movie? Because you were like, your hype levels were at like an 11 out of 10 for this one. So is there anything you could have cared less about, or you maybe didn't want so much, or something?
Honestly,
that you would have taken out?
I can't think of anything I didn't like. Obviously, it's like, I want more Darkseid. I want more, you know, epilogue type stuff. But as a 4 hour, you know, cut, it was pretty much everything I thought it was going to be. It was amazing. You know. Good.
So no negativity. A true super fan.
Right. Yeah.
I like it. That's good. Nick, let's move over to you. What things stuck out to you that made this movie? Because I think we're all in agreement that it was good, right? Like,
okay, absolutely. I mean, far better than the theatrical cut. I mean, it explains a lot. The amount that was cut, and sure, it was a lot longer, but again, you're talking about an epic movie. It's like, imagine if any of the Avengers movies, or Infinity War, or Endgame especially, was cut in half. Like, the story will be lost, the character development will be lost, the feeling for the characters would be lost as well, right? Like, I know people aren't like big fans of the Snyderverse and what he's done to, like, with his vision, but again, like, this is his vision. You could say the same thing with the MCU and the comics from Marvel. Like, it's not exactly the way we want it, but this is what we're getting, so how do we adjust to liking it or not, and kind of comparing it. But for the movie's sake, seeing more of Ray Fisher with Cyborg, who did a tremendous job. Like, I think he absolutely kills the role. He should get his own fucking movie. Like, that's stupid.
For sure, dude.
Warner
The
Brothers
fact that they
not
wrote
to
him
do
out
this.
of the Flash movie,
it makes no sense
Why?
at all. No sense. Like, it's so dumb.
especially because him and the Flash are like buddy by the end of this, like fist
exactly.
bumps and all that other shit. It's like he's not in the movie now. That's dumb. But
That's
whatever.
fuck suits. Billy Walsh over here.
Billy Walsh from Entourage.
From Entourage. I do like the little bit more we got from Ezra Miller and the Flash. It was really cool, like when he first kind of uses his speed to save Iris West, and his shoes get ripped.
Yeah.
Just like small details like that are like really noticeable, and it kind of just speaks more to his powers, being like a metahuman. But I mean, I think the biggest thing for me is I got Black Suit Superman.
Bro.
I've waited years. I still have a picture on my phone of Henry Cavill in the black suit on set, but he had a beard with his hair slicked back. And I'm a little bummed we didn't get that, but that's all the studio's fault for being just moving on and him shaving it off for some dumb reason. But still, for the sake of just seeing that, and just the little changes involving Clark Kent, Superman with the team, when he appears right when Steppenwolf's about to chop Cyborg, and it just hits his shoulder, and he's like not impressed, and just and then
his
just
ice
like
breath was so cool.
Like, and shatters it. Like when we were watching, I was like, "Oh shit!" Like, and then just proceeds to like. You could say he got pissed. Like you could see that anger in his eyes when he was just lasering the shit and just like ground pounding him. Like, and everyone's just watching. Like Diana's like, "Yeah, beat his ass." Like, and which is really interesting. I thought too from her perspective, because I'd almost half expect like her to be like, "That's enough," sort of thing.
Right.
But she was like, "Nope. For all my Amazonians,
That's right.
beat them to a pulp," And then the portal opens up, and it's like, well,
Yeah. And when they did the thing, Aquaman stabbed him through the top with the trident and was just holding him up and serving him up for it, like that.
yeah, dude, that tag team was great.
Yeah,
it was
great.
All of those action sequences played out better in this from what I can remember from the theatrical version. It seemed like the theatrical one, everything was like, okay, let's just get this movie over with.
Yeah, it was a speed race.
Yeah, because Warner Brothers had told Snyder and then Whedon after him, movie has to be no longer than 2 hours. Establish the entire Justice League, bring them together, and have a bad guy in 2 hours. Like it just it's asinine. But keep going. What else do you think about this one?
I mean, yeah, obviously the fact that we got Darkseid, it's it's like, imagine if we didn't get enough Thanos, right?
Yeah.
What? You get one of the biggest villains, not just in the movie or in the universe, but like of all comic book history. Right. Like, how do you cut that out? You don't. That's a dumb decision. So obviously, and then obviously Ray Porter's voice. I'm gonna try and do my best impression at one point, but
man, did they like drop his voice an entire octave?
I think so.
In post.
Yeah, because I saw him do the impression on a charity stream or whatever it was on YouTube, and he was like, release the Snyderverse sort of thing, and then but I'm like listening to the way he did it on stream, and I'm like hearing it live, or rather through the movie, and I'm like, I can hear his voice, but obviously it's like just a tad bit lower, because I mean you kind of have to do it, right? But dude, the epilogue might have been one of my favorite parts of the whole movie. I mean, like, sure, we got like the scenes that we got at the end of the theatrical cut, right, with like Lex Luthor escaping the boat, Slade Wilson showing up on the boat,
Yep.
But I mean, the nightmare sequence, like I was waiting all movie for that. Like, when's it gonna happen?
Yeah.
'Cause I know Zack Snyder built on that, and I want to see what his vision was for this. And again, one of my other biggest things was, how is Jared Leto going to do with the Joker? It's got a big spot in my heart for Heath Ledger, so
Yeah.
you know, wanting to see more of his take on it, right? Like this like kind of like weird laugh
Yeah.
was cool, but dude, just like we know that who's left, and the fact that Deathstroke is teamed up with them all, I'm like, well, that's interesting. And like,
well, and it seems like they're teaming up with the Joker, at least for
the Joker as well,
like,
but
the
then
whole temporary truce thing.
well, yeah, the whole, and then McMira's like, I'll stab him through the heart. I'm like, girl, you ain't gonna get close to do that. Shut up. Like, you know.
Yo, when the Joker called Mira a fish stick and then a smelly little flounder, I was like, what? Did he
He's
really
the
just say it?
Joker.
Okay.
He's gonna crack jokes.
Yeah.
But dude, I got a truce, Bruce.
Yeah,
Like,
there was some good dialogue in there.
yeah.
When Batman was like, "And I will fucking kill you," and I was like, "Whoa!"
Yeah.
Oh my god.
Dude, when he's like, a mother, a father, an adopted son, I was like, oh, he's
Yeah.
talking about Boy Wonder.
You sent a boy wonder to do a man's job.
Yeah, he's like, I thought I told you to watch your next words.
Oh yeah, it was good. It was very good. I there were some people that were like, "That's the best Batman Joker interaction ever," and I was like, "Have you seen The Dark Knight? Come on."
Yeah, I mean, but that's just
No.
the thing, right? Like, you know, I think for the best parts to have in the movie is, and we could talk about it in the next video of what's to come, but just to see that now, and obviously kind of have the actors come back and do that, you know, between Ben Affleck, Jared Leto, I'm gonna butcher his last name, but Joey Manganiello.
Yeah, Magic Mike, dude.
Yeah. The biggest D&D player on the planet.
For real, dude. He's so about that. He's
dude.
all over Twitter about it. It's so funny.
With other celebrities and like top known people, which is awesome. Because he's nerdy just like us, but
Yep.
man, he looks like a badass as Deathstroke, and like he spoke about it too on a live stream. Like, he was bummed that the movie got scrapped, and it's like, but after Zack Snyder was like, no, I'm gonna bring you back because maybe there's hope, but still,
Yeah.
like for them to, I didn't know there was an epilogue until he told me there was when he watched it. I was like, oh shit, there's an epilogue. Like, that's cool.
Yeah.
But definitely one of my favorite parts. So, but
Now,
what about?
I think the Deathstroke stuff, wasn't he supposed to be the main villain in the standalone Ben Affleck Batman movie that never
Yes.
happened? Okay.
Yes.
So that makes sense now that the boat scene with Lex Luthor where he tells him his name's Bruce Wayne and then all
Yeah.
that
But I don't remember that being in the theatrical cut where he actually name drops him.
he doesn't take his helmet off, I don't think.
Yeah, I
The
don't.
one in the theatrical cut. I think he basically just walks up and sees Lex
does.
and then it just like hard cuts.
Yeah.
So
It's like, dude, what?
that post credit in the theatrical, he goes to the boat, but he doesn't name drop Batman or anything like that. He's just like, don't you think we should have a league of our own? And like, that's it.
And that's it, right? Okay.
Yeah. Completely just like, but
It's so weird that they used
Dude.
like the scenes that they did use from Snyder in the theatrical cut were still like hacked up and cut around and
Yeah.
made shorter and
Yeah.
I don't know, it is weird. It didn't make a lot of sense, but
yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know. Anything you didn't like, Nick?
It's kind of hard. I was thinking about it because knowing how much more we got is stuff that I wanted to see. It's stuff that made sense. I mean, I think if I don't like stuff, it's probably going to be like very nitpicky. Like, I didn't even care about the length, to be honest with you. I didn't, because I'm watching it from home. Like,
Yeah.
you know, I even actually had to pause it a couple times, but even then, like I didn't care, right? It didn't take away from the whole feeling or the flow of the movie. Actually, and speaking of that, I actually think the flow for a 4-hour movie, the pace was actually pretty good. It didn't seem like it just dragged on. I'm like, dude, when is the next part? Or like, I almost like it would be like part to part. I'm like, oh shit, we're on part 4 already. Like damn, like that kind of sucks. Because we only got 2 parts left,
right?
And I want to see more. But parts I didn't like. I don't say, I'm not going to use didn't like stuff that I don't like, and that the studio did maybe. Like there was he sent me a post that Green Lantern, that Jon Stewart was supposed to be in it, and I'm like, he should have been in the movie. Like, you cut again one of DC's top players, top heroes out there, you know, out of the movie, you know, and not even to get into the whole like anything political, but like another black superhero,
yeah,
right? Like, just put it out there. You cut him out. You don't include him. I do like the fact that we got Martian Manhunter. That was one of the biggest shit moments too.
Was Martian Manhunter the consolation prize for Green Lantern getting taken out? Like,
here's the thing though. I think he should have been in the movie anyway.
Oh, for sure. I'm not saying he shouldn't have, but like, do you feel like that scene at the end was supposed to be Jon Stewart and not Martian Manhunter?
Possibly. Like, we did see a lantern, and of course Steppenwolf says like, no lanterns, no Kryptonians. Yep. Like, right? But I mean, cool. And we saw the one lantern get murked by Darkseid, right? In that giant battle.
Dude, that battle was incredible.
Dude, I was even seeing him. I was like, yo, Darkseid got his ass whipped, like, kind of, right? I mean, he was doing damage, but I think just the gods, you know, the Greek gods, kind of, it was cool to actually see them. I had to say, like, between Artemis, who again would have made sense if this movie came out when it did, or when it was supposed to, because it would have made sense going into Wonder Woman 84 with Artemis, right. And then obviously Ares, the god of war, who is the villain in the original Wonder Woman film, right? And Zeus, who is Diana's father
or dad,
So again, you put shit in the stories that make sense. That's how stories are good stories. That's what builds up character development. And then, you know, obviously studios don't get that, like, for the most part. Like, it is. And that's the thing. Like, when you include stuff like that, fans are happy. They want to see it. They pay money to see it, and then the studio benefits. We benefit as well. That's the biggest thing. So I don't know. I just want to see what Suits thinks sometimes, and just give him a fresh one.
I'm super curious to see. Like, I don't know if Warner Brothers and AT&T will release numbers for this, but like, I'm curious what HBO Max's subscriber count did because of this. Like, and is it worth throwing $70 million at Zack Snyder to finish the movie or not? You know, like, how do they make, you do 70 million divided by $15 a month? That's, you need to add a lot of subscribers to make that money back. So I'm curious to see, you know, and we'll get into this in another video later this week, but you know, where does it go from here? It's all predicated on money. So
absolutely.
I'm curious to see how that goes. But for me, I would say obviously all the things you guys mentioned that were great, I really enjoyed. I hated the Flash in the first one, in the theatrical version. And I came out of this one like laughing at all of his dumb humor, and I didn't think I was going to. And I also loved his action sequences. When him and Superman fight in Heroes Park, that shit was fan-fucking-tastic. When he breaks the speed barrier to charge up the mother box, and he basically rewinds time as he's running.
Dude, he literally saved the planet, the universe,
yeah,
right there, right?
And then when he does it again to charge up Cyborg to go into the Unity, like all that stuff was unbelievably cool. And they use a lot of slow-mo, and they really drag it out. But in a 4-hour movie that's on a streaming service, you can get away with that. So
right.
I thought that was awesome. I think that taking away all of the silly humor that they wrote in for Bruce Wayne in the theatrical version and just having him be Batman in this one made a lot more sense.
Yeah.
Alfred stole the show in every fucking scene he was in.
Yeah, dude, Jeremy Irons is awesome.
Absolutely crushed it.
Yeah.
So good. When he's trying to teach Wonder Woman how to make tea, that was funny. When Batman introduces the team to him and he's like, "This is Alfred, I work for him," and all that stuff. Like that stuff really hit for me. I loved all the side characters. So you got Alfred with Batman, Henry Allen with Barry, that had a lot of emotional weight to it.
Yeah, it did.
Obviously Cyborg's parents that you didn't get a lot of. All the little bit players really enhanced the story for me. Like J.K. Simmons was great as Gordon in the very short amount of time we saw him. With a terrific mustache.
Yeah, right.
Fantastic.
All that stuff that you don't get in the theatrical version because it all got slashed to cut it down to 2 hours. It made everything matter more for all the characters. It helped flesh out their stories. They actually had development. All 6 of them went from here to here by the end of this movie. They all had some form of story and some form of growth, which you don't always get that. Like I think the theatrical cut was all about Batman and Wonder Woman. Right.
Yes.
Like because Superman shows up at the end and he's a weapon, and they use him. Right.
Yeah. Like I think Aquaman had a little, like, his character was different though. I think he played more of a tough guy in the Snyder cut than like he did in the theatrical cut. Like there's that one scene in the theatrical cut when they're at the like base or whatever, right? And he's sitting down and he's actually sitting on the lasso, and he starts talking about Wonder Woman.
I forgot all about that.
Yeah, I was like, which was kind of whatever, but I'm like, that wasn't in it because, like, I think the humor for the Snyder cut was well done. So like, it doesn't take away from the seriousness of the movie,
right?
But it's subtle enough that you're kind of like, that's kind of funny. Like yeah, I think Flash's humor was well done. Like he mentions the power of love, and I'm like, hey, Huey Lewis.
Yeah. I was like, are we gonna watch Back to the Future now, or what? What's happening?
Yeah, Back to the Future, rewind time. He goes faster, so he rewinds time himself. I'm like, I don't know if that was meant to be there at all, but I just kind of, personally made that connection. But again, like his humor was great, right? Like, even when he saves Iris West from that whole incident, right? He takes like the hot dog and puts it in his pocket.
Yeah.
To go feed to the dogs later. He's just chilling there, and he's like, "So I start on Monday, right?" Like,
only a Zack Snyder movie does a slow motion CGI shot of a sesame seed.
Yeah, falling down.
It's ridiculous. But yeah, man, it was good. It was an enjoyable thing. The pacing was good, like you said. I don't think it felt like 4 hours. It felt like it went by much faster than that. It left people wanting more, obviously, because Twitter is abuzz with restoring the Snyderverse now and not just releasing the Snyder Cut. So it did its job there. If I had any gripes, I would have maybe liked to have seen a little more of Superman. I get why it's done the way it's done, because it's part of the story and they have to fail without him to realize they need him and all that stuff. But he is like the main character of DC Comics, so it would have been cool to see a tiny bit more of him. Aquaman is tough because it's like he's such a dweeb in the comics, and I feel like sometimes they try to overcompensate to make him cool in movies because they don't want him to be a dweeb. It's difficult, but yeah, other than that, man, I think the film was good. The first one was horrible, and this one was actually good. So
agreed.
So let's go around the table. Austin, I have a pretty good feeling of what score you're going to give this one, but out of 10, where do we sit on this?
So your guess is right. But, you know, I remember telling him when we talked about it on Thursday, I'm like, I want to give it a 10 out of 10 because I love it. But I don't really believe in like a perfect movie. But
True.
Yeah,
for the sake of, you know, wanting this movie for 5 or 6 years, it's a 10 out of 10.
The perfect movie doesn't exist. 10 out of 10.
It's not perfect, but I'm going to give it a perfect score. All right, Nick, how about you?
I think I initially said like 8.5 out of 10.
Yeah.
And now I think on any like a given day, I might be like, you know what, this is a 9 out of 10. But I'd say around there, you know.
Okay.
It's like I agree though. I understand like the whole Superman aspect. I understand why, but I mean, dude, Henry Cavill, he's jacked as fuck, you know,
Yes.
and
His back is just like
his back
goals.
Yeah, his triceps, like,
I mean,
you know, I mean, it's like that the park scene we get to see a little bit more of, right? Which was great because it is kind of more Superman. We didn't get the corny bullshit lines between him and Bruce, were like, tell me, do you bleed?
Yeah.
From like, the actual cut, it's just dumb, you know. I mean, that was kind of interesting, the different take, because Bruce is like Clark, no, like he's trying to, not like submitting to it, but he's like, you know, generally trying to break through.
Yeah.
And those gauntlets actually came in handy because getting two shots, and that third shot would have been it. But yeah, I because of everything, I'd say 8.5 to 9.
Okay.
On average.
In that, cool. I'd say it's a solid 8 for me.
Okay.
It is my favorite Zack Snyder DC movie. Like, yeah. I think this was better than Man of Steel and Batman vs Superman. I think I gave the Joss Whedon version like a 2 out of 10 back when it came out. So to go from a 2 to an 8 is a hell of a leap for me. I was excited. I'm thrilled for Zack that he got to see his vision through, and hopefully he can close a relatively traumatic chapter of his life and be able to move on and do some better things now. Maybe he'll get another crack at it. We'll talk about that in another video, but yeah, just to be able to see it done and know that it exists and know that the fans have something they can latch onto and really enjoy. The enthusiasm this weekend from the hardcore Snyder DC fans has been pretty cool to see. So very, very excited on that. So yeah, so I think that's gonna wrap it up for this video. We would love to hear in the comments below your thoughts. You know, where do you rank this? What did you like? What did you dislike? How does it compare to the theatrical version for you? Pretty good.
Let us know
what everyone's gonna say on that one. But yeah, so definitely leave us a comment. Be out on the lookout for another video this week where we talk about the future of the DCEU after this and after the critical and fan reaction to the movie. And as always, like the video, subscribe to the channel, turn on your notifications, that way you never miss another one. And until next time, we will see you guys in the next video.